Today on the podcast, we welcome a truly extraordinary guest, a woman who has turned waves into a global wake up call. Meet Merle Liivand, better known as Eco Mermaid, and Merle the Mermaid. Merle is a 5-time Guinness World Record holder, an ocean ambassador, and a global voice for the planet, representing organizations like earthday.org and the World Economic Forum. She is an elite Estonian national swimmer, triathlete, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, movie producer, and the CEO of Swimera-Baltics. She even runs a green blue beauty brand, Viking Beauty Secrets, bridging wellness, tech, and ocean advocacy in one powerful mission. Whether she is swimming 30 miles in a monofin to raise awareness about microplastics or being honored with her very own Merle Liivand Day in Miami Beach, Merle is living proof that one person really can make waves of change. Get ready for a conversation that dives deep into climate activism, sport as a force for good, and how one woman is literally swimming toward a better future for our oceans. Hi, Merle. Welcome to my podcast. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm good.
You have an amazing profile. You are doing such a wonderful job for the society also. You are a professional swimmer. You are an ocean ambassador, 5 times Guinness World Record holder, Wonder Woman, Earth Day ambassador, and World Cleanup Day ambassador. Wow! And also ecopreneur. Super. So, and you are doing such a great work for the society. Super. And it would be very interesting to know about you and to understand about your insights, about your personality, and what makes you different from others. So, this podcast is all about your mindset and what kind of homework you do for your projects, whatever competition you are participating in. And you are also an Olympian. Okay, you represented Estonia. Am I correct?
Youth Olympian. I went to Youth Olympics.
Okay, Aman. So, Malay, how it all started? What attracted you to swimming in
Well,
childhood?
it started because I had so many health problems. I literally had lungs collapsing, and I have been in and out of hospital basically all my childhood, and in some ways I knew it. I love to be active and I love to be athletic, but at the same time, constantly listen from your doctors or, from people who supposed to guide your life, and their opinions were always that I'm weak and I never can do anything and I should not even try anything. And I think that kind of pushed me to say that that's not the way how I vision my life, even as a child. And at the age of 11, my family doctor kind of had this idea that maybe swimming can help me to teach how to ventilate the lungs and how to really be uh, approach my body differently. And I think that really saved me, on a sense that I start swimming and I start pretty fast, aiming from rankings in Estonia. And I still remember, like, this day when I went to even Baltic State Championships, and I was the youngest of Estonian swim team, and I placed bronze. And it was like a big deal, in a sense that you're the youngest and you actually got the medal for your country. And I think that just gave me that taste that I might have to live life differently as an athlete, as doctors have seen, but there are possibilities on my road. It literally was just more question how I'm gonna approach that mentally. And now, many Guinness World Records later, I can say that what I was thinking or what I was feeling was right.
So it all happened to improve your uh, fitness, improve your lungs, and you started swimming. So, how living in Estonia shaped your uh, initial your career and your love for swimming?
I think in some ways I still aiming for that what I was feeling when I was living in Estonia, on a sense that when we look, Estonia is on the north. It's really cold place. Summers are kind of warmer, but not that warm because it's Scandinavian. So in the north, and I always knew that Estonia is surrounded by the sea. So I felt that every Estonian should be a good swimmer already because of that. But I think a lot to do also that when you come from small country, you have to have five different skills in one person, and I think that have shaped me in a world level. So often people ask what else you can do because they see my resume and they're like, wow, you sing, you act, you run a business, you swim, you changing the world. And I say, well, it's because when you come from a small land surrounded with water, I mean, that's just kind of more your DNA, and kind of you have to have five different skills in one. When we take a small bigger country where one person might be greatest in just in one thing, and I think that's a same time blessing because you do push yourself maybe harder to be the pioneer of many angles, but it definitely is a great blessing to have that you come from smaller country.
Superb. So, Merle, you later on moved to Florida. So, was there any particular reason? Was it because of career, or you wanted to associate for some social work?
It was more that my lungs needed a warm waters, same way as I explained that Estonia is a small country in the north. We I struggled a lot more with my lungs because you're swimming indoors where the chlorine is constantly affecting your lungs, and then you're dealing with the ice swimming, what can also be really shock and not the healthiest for your lungs, and not helping to develop the lungs. So I knew it. I need a warmer place to swim if I want to continue swimming at all. That at that time I literally wanted to walk away, and I hated swimming actually. When I had opportunity to learn about American college system and come to America and study and swim, and I knew it. I want to learn another language. Like Spanish was really interesting for me, and Florida somehow sounded the perfect spot for me, on the sense that I can develop my lungs, swim outdoors, and learn new language while learning also American, you know, dream or American world. And in some other ways, I really didn't know I'm becoming such a ocean advocate because I blended into the system where you're trying to be a best pool swimmer. But thanks to Florida world, I started fall in love with swimming even more, and I switched gears from pool swimming to triathlon and fell in love with the open water swimming, and it's kind of open water is a different game, especially when you're coming
Yeah,
from pool. You don't necessarily hit 10K or 5K right away, and especially when you're for the world that was known 50-meter breaststroker and 200-meter breaststroker, so nothing to do even with freestyle. And then I was doing pretty well on open water mile and distance freestyle, and I start kind of fell in love with the swimming and learning how to combine my different skills again. And that's probably how I found also the mono swim, and learning about how to swim longer in the ocean, just doing different techniques. training with weights, and it's all has been just on a journey, really a
Right.
journey.
It's a journey. So, Murli, so you moved to Florida, America, just because you wanted a warmer climate and especially for your lungs, which was much better than living in a northern country. So, how it helped you in shaping your career, and when did you realize that you want to become an environmental advocate? Especially, was there any turning point that you become actively started fighting for ocean pollution, against ocean pollution? So when it all happened,
Yeah, again, when I was a younger girl in Estonia, I knew it that swimming has a lot of flaws. So I became first businesswoman, and I tried to figure out how to help swimming as a sport to grow, because we constantly talking about swimming sport is unfunded, right? And constantly you're trying to understand how to be international level athlete where when there is like no salaries coming in. And when I started being businesswoman and jumping and learning about Ironman being one of the most profitable business in sports where is swimming involved, and then learning about open water and training for Rio Olympic trials, I start seeing trash everywhere. And then I put it two plus two together that if we take it on a business side, and we can't swim because it's polluted, then we actually going to lose the business, and we're going to have more unfunding going towards the swimming than we already know about it. And it just was like no brainer to me that, listen, we can't talk about we need to grow, water safety, and teach people about the health of the water and the lungs of the water, right? When myself, I come from background of almost not being able to breathe, and at the same time seeing oceans not able to breathe, being healthy because of pollution and the plastic. So it's kind of was a 2016 was like a really turning point to me. And same time I start learning a little bit about ice swimming, even though it's a maybe weird circle that I moved to warmer climate and I learned about ice swimming, but it just made me realize that if plastic is even under ice, then it can be anywhere. And most of the time we know about pollution because we have a phone or media who can capture it by video. But the world is so big. Ocean is 72% of the world's market, if you think about it, and world global level. And there are places where we don't capture pollution because people don't have phones or people don't film the pollution situations. So it really was kind of a bigger circle and question. It wasn't just like, hey, I just want to save and do something good for the world, but it was also like, listen, we all depending on it. Is it the swimmer, is it the swimming fans, is it coaches, is it federations? We all depending on healthier water and waterways, and it just became such a thing that now I think every day when I wake up, I know that I have a purpose in this world.
great. So, Malay, who was your biggest inspiration in your early days as professional or even in your personal life?
It's interesting to that question is really interesting because if I'm honest, I think my biggest inspiration has been always my grandma, but these days I find my biggest inspiration everywhere. Every human being is inspiring in some ways, and but the grandma work ethics is something what sets my tone every day, and my literally my parents, because my grandma went to do a sport even when Estonia wasn't free because we were under occupation of Soviet Union. Or some days she went to work and practice and got babies, even if you had one day you had German running Estonia, or there was Estonia was free again, and next day it was under Russia. So the ability of adopting and make life and career happen, I find this really remarkable, and that's something what she and my parents kind of reminded me that when you have brain working and heart pumping, then you can do anything in this world. I think so often people want to step down and say that, oh, me, like nobody doesn't give me this, or nobody doesn't do this, or many things. But in some ways, if you think about ocean gives us oxygen, so we are halfway towards to success, and we sometimes forget that we have actually half of the success already in our hands. And I think I would say there are many world leaders who I admire, but of course my grandma.
Wow, great story. So, Merle, you are fighting actively against ocean pollution. What is the most alarming thing you have witnessed in your personal life about, personally, you have witnessed about ocean pollution?
The most hurtful thing, I mean, I see sadly pollution every day. There is no days. And I will say this year, I think I have had 2 days when I haven't picked up plastic from the ocean. And we are already on July, right? Half of the year is gone. And sadly, 2 days when I haven't picked up pollution, that just tells you how bad is the situation. But personally, one of the most scariest moment for my life was when we had a fish kill 2020 in Miami, and we have to put ventilator tubes inside the ocean because oxygen ran out for 12 hours. And if you think about it, if ocean doesn't have oxygen, who's next?
Right.
We we as a humans. And those days were so critical. If you think about what I mean about putting ventilator tubes inside the ocean, is if you think about aquarium, there is these little tubes what produces oxygen for the fish. We had the same situation here in Miami. We had to put those kind of tubes inside the oceans, restart the oxygen. And that's a natural disaster. And what if we are next and we have to walk around with ventilator tanks, and seeing a fish swim in front of my eyes and literally suffocating. um I will not want to see humans being next.
Okay, Merle, can you explain the dangers of microplastics just in a simple terms for audience?
I'm sure your audience listens this podcast and thinks about, my success in a life. Is it business success, more money on a bank account, or more health, or more, better opportunities? But if you have a microplastic in your gut, that's going to affect your hormonal unbalance. It's going to affect your brain, and it's going to affect your ability to even achieve any success. Is it in money, law attraction, love, relationships, business, career? So, in the end of the day, if we can save oceans from microplastics, you can save actually a bigger success. And I think everybody should try at least 1% to not to accept single use plastic every day. Every day when you have opportunity, avoid single use plastic. Try to go extra mile for that. Sometimes, you know what, go back to the car and get your recycle bag. You don't need thousands of plastic bags just to carry your produce at home. So every time when you're reaching out for plastic, think about how microplastic can affect your success.
Very scary. So you're doing amazing job. So you got your name Eco Mermaid. How it, how it all come about?
Well, the interesting thing is, Eco Mermaid or Modern Life Mermaid was actually named by, I think, CNN or Fox News. It just was the journalist saying that, you're like the modern day life mermaid who, you know, is saving the world. And I'm also part of Los Angeles Eco Athletes team, and with athletes who are thinking about the environment, we're doing a lot of work daily basis to educate sport to think about sustainability and more eco-friendly world or eco-friendly apparel. Even I'm wearing even one right now, what is upcycled. So those names really come as a journey continues.
So what inspired you to start setting Guinness World Records?
That was actually the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. He
Yeah.
uh, he made like a joke that I should swim around Jamaica with the mermaid monofin, and I was like, "You're the fastest man in the world. Like, why do you challenge? Like, why do you say that to me?" And he was like, you have a mermaid passion, mermaid school, and you swim 10K. So, like, why don't you? And that joke just pushed me next day to practice to figure out how to break a first Guinness World Record. And today I have, five of them. I swam 50 kilometers, 14 hours. And when I saw him last time, he said, "Don't stop, keep going." And as maybe the world news know, he's also now the Guinness World Record global icon. So you see, he saw something on me, and I run with that basically.
So if somebody challenges you, you take it seriously. And you have, like you were mentioning that since your childhood, you have taken all the challenges very seriously. First related to your lungs, then swimming, then changing the location also. That is also a challenge, moving from one country to the other country. Great. So, how do you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for any Guinness World Record event?
Always being scared. I mean, if you're scared, that means it's good. That means you have to go for it. But also, again, my grandma, had been standing in front of the military tank and said, shoot me or give me my country back. So I don't think I can be any less than my grandma, right? Like my mission is also freedom for ocean, and the fact that we're never gonna know if the record's gonna come through or not. Many things go constantly wrong sometimes, and it's all about how do you adapt. And honestly, at this point, when you have been doing so many Guinness World Records, you kind of already know that you can do it. And maybe shark will love you more. So but number one idea is that um it's so easy to go home, sit on a couch, and do nothing.
Right.
But then you don't experience life at all. So sometimes when something is scary, go and do it.
And you are really a Wonder Woman. So you have five Guinness World Records. So which one was the most challenging out of these five?
Well, Wonder Woman, I got the award. So that's how I got again
But you are actually Wonder
another.
Woman in your life.
Well, I got the award for it. So, and it's somewhere on a museum now. So, um,
Okay.
I think one of the hardest was And that's not just me saying it. It's everybody who have been all these 5 Guinness World Records around me can clarify that too, because I love when I set the Guinness World Records and everybody has a story about that day. And when I did my 30th, 6 kilometers more to go, and the current against us was like 27 knots of wind. And I remember the policeman, who is also head of the SWAT team here in Miami, kind of asked my team that, do you think she gonna make it? Because the wind is like so terrible, and literally we were not even moving an inch, because it's hard to go against the current when you use the arms. But my record means I don't use the arms, so you kind of like push it through your body, and you can't pull yourself. And I think everybody turned around and told the SWAT team guy that, if you know anything, know that this mermaid will never give up. She will be swimming here maybe for 2 days, but she gonna make it. And I remember looking this one hotel, and I had two swimmers against me who were there more than motivational reasons. And they literally said that they want to go home. They don't want to do this. And everybody hated me. I know that. Everybody were like, this is so challenging. And then when I looked over my shoulder, I saw how two boats collided with themselves, because the wind and the waves and everything was like so stormy and chaotic, and it literally was like nobody believed that it's a smart idea to continue. And I said, well, you guys can go home. I'm gonna continue swimming by myself, you know. But nobody went home, thank God. So we finished, and I barely could walk from the shoreline to the lifeguard stand, and they were like, "Listen, we're gonna have a ambulance and everything." I said, "No, no, no. I want to know how many pounds of trash was picked up while I was swimming." And then the Miami Beach mayor showed up and proclaimed that day as Merle Liivand Day in Miami Beach, what is also officially my birthday. So, I mean, how happy you can be after being suffered so many hours against Mother Nature. But that just tells you that Mother Nature was just trying to tell the message to all humans that she's still the strongest, and we just have to trust her.
So your birthday, April 17th, is celebrated as Merle Liivand Day at Miami
Yeah.
Beach. Wow, super.
Yes.
So if somebody hates you, they should not challenge you. That is what I learned, that you take challenges very seriously.
I do. And it's
Yeah.
so sad. It is so sad, because sometimes even I have had like Hollywood stars or world leaders who challenge me, and I'm like, guys, my training bag is ready, my fin is ready. Let's go tomorrow. And then they're like, "Oh, I was just kidding," and I was like, "No, there's no kidding with me. It's the real deal."
So, Marle, can you describe the emotional journey of long distance swimming as a mermaid? What keeps you mentally strong in this long distance swimming?
Mm, mentally, I think what keeps me strong is I at this moment I've seen enough animals suffering, being stuck on plastic or fishing nets, and knowing that nobody can speak behalf of them, that I'm the one who has to speak behalf of them through my journey of combining Guinness World Record. And I think if you think about a whale being stuck on a plastic bag and swimming for miles, I think my pain is just, for one day. They sometimes suffer for months, and when sometimes sadly they also die. and how in the world it is that animals have to suffer more than us, right? And if you think about, literally think about all the kids who I've met in my life. So also their happiness and their, you know, maybe smile that they would like to see that whale or turtle one day. But sadly, if they keep dying because we are trashing the world, then that's not gonna happen. And thinking about the kids' health, that if God forbid if the microplastic is in their bodies and they have health problems like I had, being on a hospital. So I think being on those moments and thinking those kind of sad things, right? Like kind of heartbreaking things, but knowing that that I'm not sitting on a couch and just complaining about it, that I'm doing something about it. That just keeps me maybe even excited. And anybody knows that it's a lot for your lower back and it's a painful for your hips. And sometimes the pain is so terrible that you want to just cut your knee off because it's not easy. It's unhuman thing what I'm doing. But knowing that through that, maybe the message gets to the people and it speaks, the mermaid voice speaks louder than ever. That just keeps me going. But hon- honestly, I think it's also because I want to prove the world that, that girl who was in a hospital bed and thinking she's nothing, she's actually something for this world. So maybe it's a, you could say childhood drama, but it is actually childhood dream.
Right. So you turn that trauma into dream. That's great. So, Marley, how do you train yourself for these record-breaking world events with monofin? So, what is your daily, if you can explain, what is your daily routine? What is your, how do you, how many hours you spend in training yourself? What kind of diet you follow? And how do you manage your hydration and nutrition when you are swimming for long distances?
It's a everyday challenge. It's not those records haven't come easy, especially when you're trying to train for that and figuring out, because there's no coach who can tell you how to do that. I'm the only one who knows how to do that. So
Wow.
it's I have to go extra mile to learn about nutrition and the trainings. But I study a lot and I try to add like weights in the water to swim with the weights. So that prepares me. I'm using a lots of Pilates classes, a lots of hot Pilates classes to keep up with the heart rate on the most stressful times. And it's just everyday hard work. I have Pilates about 4 to 5 times per week, uh, besides swimming in an ocean, in a pool, and doing weights. And it's just a lots of work, honestly. And if anybody knows my life story, people asking what kind of diet you follow. Well, my problem is I don't have an enzyme to absorb iron. So that means I already have less oxygen on my blood system. So I have to eat, more plant based, more, gluten free, more worrying about having enzymes absorbing anything. I mean, I could take a protein shake, but next thing it's gone from my body because I don't have things on my kidney who can absorb it. They just get lost, or my body, some like I can't have anything fake. Everything has to be natural what I eat. So so for example, when long distance Ironman people start telling me about gels, I always tell them, "Have you seen my blood tests? Just don't suggest something. It's a tricky science, right? And I think that's what any athlete should be doing. They should look more the data of the blood than listening some nutrition coach who hasn't seen you inside, you know. So it is a tricky, but I think all these world records are speaking it for itself.
It's amazing that what kind of homework and what kind of strict discipline you have to follow behind the scenes for all these events. So people see results, but the your homework and your whatever you have to follow, and especially uh, related to your saying about your nutrition. So it's so interesting that people are not aware of that. People are just aware of the results. But so much hard work is required,
Yeah, yeah. I want to add here. It's so easy to, go to the pool and look somebody swimming and point fingers and be
and
judgmental,
without a
and we
coach,
don't know.
nothing can be done. Yes,
Yeah, we don't know actually what's going on inside with that athlete, and that's why it's so important to understand and learn. And in some ways, I always laugh about that. That makes me 10 times more professional than anybody else. And it has been, on a journey on itself, that you sit down with doctors, and they constantly telling you that you're doing unhuman things with the really little resources what you have inside your body. But again, maybe sometimes nature has a different answer than just doctor science. So we're trying to combine doctor science with natural ways, and I think it's important, and that's why I'm a huge advocate that we need to understand that microplastic is a bad thing for a body too. It's fake. It's it's something what it should be in our blood, and in these days, sadly, more and more results of blood tests showing that microplastic is in human blood. So that just makes me little bit more maybe vocal about the situation, and in some way, I find it this really interesting journey itself.
right. So for how many hours you can swim non-stop?
Well, I when I did my record, 14 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
I actually went next day, 12 hours after that. I went to swim 10K open water race in Swim Miami, and I actually got ninth place. So the fact that 12 hours after breaking a world record, I went to compete on 10K open water swim, where finally I was able to use arms, just tells you that I think I haven't reached that answer yet.
So, any physical challenge? What are the biggest physical challenge you have ever faced in this long hour swims? Have you ever faced any uh, dangerous marine life, such things?
Well, the most dangerous to me is jellyfish. It can put me on a shock. I do have allergic reaction to them,
Okay.
but I carry EpiPen and allergy medicine every day with me. So it's the jellyfish what affects me the worst.
Okay. So, how do you handle unpredictability of open water swims? Because we don't know anything about, of course, you have so much knowledge. Still, it's open water swims, so especially in oceans. So, how do you handle that unpredictability?
Uh, the reality is that it's being in the moment and learning to adopt the hardships. I mean, sometimes you know that you have to swim 5 miles, but every mile is different. 1 mile you have current, another mile you have sunny, the other mile you have rainy, the third mile you have sharks. It's the critical thinking, and I think that's the same when I'm using in business or in everyday life. So it's being in a moment.
So what is going in your mind that time when you are swimming for non-stop for so your record is 14 hours. How many minutes? 14
15
hours,
minutes.
50 minutes.
14
So
hours and 14 hours and 15 minutes. My mind just is, when you have been trying to survive all your life, then you learn to be in the moment,
you
and
are in a
you just,
survival mode. That time survival mode. So
yeah,
that is the
fire
most,
flight.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, there's no other option than just kicking through.
So you are also triathlete. So and how it uh, help you complement you in your these long hour swims being a triathlete.
What do you mean?
Uh, you are a because you participate triathlon. So how it helps you in long hour swims? What
Oh,
that kind of training?
well, running helps me to learn how to get to the pace and keep on a pace. I can't say I love biking, but biking, I usually take biking as a moment when I can see the nature and connecting with the nature. So, but those sports are helping me again, how you have to leave swimming and now think about your legs and be on a moment with the legs. And then you have to go running and you have to think about your heart rate and pace. So many skills are developed thanks to triathlon. And I think when you're learning to combine those skills, that's how you become better also in swimming. And especially like in running, sometimes when you run slow, you understand you are not getting faster to the destination. So that helps in swimming mentality too.
Okay. So have you ever faced burnout and how you recover?
Yes.
Oh,
Um, well, I think burnout is something what you experience when you're really passionate, and it's really important for your heart and soul, right? Like swimming was really important for my heart and soul, but in some ways I started hating swimming before I came to America, and it was a lot to do that, you love something, but everybody around you tells you you're not going to succeed. And learning to look into these people's eyes and telling that that's your journey, not mine. That take me a couple of years, because when you know what you love and you put phone or computer away, then this is just a white noise.
right.
Like I have to say that sometimes when I see in a world there is a lots of uncertainty going, if I put the phone away and go to the ocean, I even forgot the news.
Yeah.
And i think and i think that's how the burnouts happen, is like you feeling that everybody else is telling you how you have to live your life and what you have to do, but it's not about other people's opinion. It's your soul. If your soul wants to do something and just shutting those white noises down, then the burnout is not going to happen, because in the end of the day, if you're breathing and you have air on your lungs, you have to choose your journey.
Great answer. So Murli, so which one is your favorite ocean?
I mean, I love my Miami Ocean for sure. Uh, but I also love in a winter my Estonian Ocean, Baltic Sea. Um, and to me, if if human has a power to take any water away from me, even if it's a lake in Italy, or I go to I go to Los Angeles and there is pollution and they tell me I can't swim. Those are the worst days in my life. The fact that somebody takes the water away from me, those are the worst moments in my life because I can't function without it. And I think that's my blood and soul. And the reason why I said Miami, because Miami is recovering. A lot of corals are coming back, a lots of sharks are coming back, turtles are growing. So I'm really happy with that, that there is a positive movements going forward. But if we're gonna lose that, then it's hard to live as a
Right.
normal human being.
So, which is the most beautiful place you have ever swum? You have been swimming for so many years. Where you enjoy the most?
I have to say I also enjoy swimming in springs. And I was in Nicaragua swimming on a volcano springs, and that was nice. Was you can feel the crystals in your hair and in your uh, skin, and I think in this world there's nothing more beautiful than a nature.
Right. So, any, uh, in fact, most unusual item you have ever picked while swimming?
Hmm. Can you repeat the question?
Most unusual item that you have ever picked while swimming from the ocean
What do you mean?
means something that you find it very different or something, and you thought that, okay, I will bring it with me. Something like that ever happened?
Oh, have I found anything from the
Yeah.
ocean?
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, sand dollar.
Okay.
And I have to educate anybody who goes to look sand dollar. You had to make sure the sand dollar what you picking up and taking home has to be dead. If you bring in a live sand dollar home, it can be a disaster. Because the funny thing is, if something is alive, they they can push a bad smell to your household to remind you that you took them away from their house. So I had once I had to bring the sand dollar back to the ocean.
Okay. So there is a film about you, Mermaid on the Mission. What's the story behind it?
It's the mermaid on a mission, but it's a revolution against microplastic, and it basically is my life story. What you already heard today. So it's a little
Okay.
short movie I did when Hollywood Film Festival award with that. My first Hollywood movie award, and I we are trying to do something new about it, so I can't release the movie, but I can tell you that we're working on something combining those scenes from that movie.
And you have also been named the most treasured citizen by ABC Network. So what do you feel about it?
That was the first time when they ever did that, uh, and it's kind of like a lifetime award, and
Oh,
um, it just told me that all the pain works out. But it just reminds me why I have to be strong for our dolphins, our sharks, our turtles, our corals. So because I know what is my life purpose, so I keep working on that, and I think that's just a really sentimental for my heart that I have done something right in this world.
you have so many recognitions. It's so inspiring for anybody, for especially for youth. So you are also a World Economic Forum front voice for climate. So how it shaped your influence because you're influencing the entire world for to fight against ocean pollution. So how it helped?
Uh, like I said, it's when it's your life purpose or your life passion, it's everyday work. In some ways, um, again, I can put the phone down and know that I'm loved by sharks or turtles or dolphins, and that matters maybe sometimes even more than a human opinion. Because in the end of the day, I'm doing something bigger for global world. If we take in a world economics, ocean is 72% of the world market. If we don't save oceans, all that 23% gonna suffer. So anybody, any human being success depends on that. So I know that that's my purpose in life, and basically I'm saving everybody's business.
Right. You're doing such an amazing job, and everyone should be aware of it that what you're doing for them, directly or indirectly, how they are it is helping everyone in this world. So how do you collaborate with cities and governments in these ocean cleanup projects?
Back in the days it was sending a lot of emails and and because nobody didn't understand what is this Estonian, like what country is Estonia. Everybody thought I should have to be a like swimmer with the Olympic gold medal, and I said I don't have that. So it was a lot of like proving to the world that I have a spot in this world, and it's not just crazy mermaid who wants to come and clean up the ocean, but it has a purpose and bigger scale impact, right? So back in the days it was a lot of emails. I can't say that now I have to go out there and look the presidents or royals or kings. Now it's opposite. Now they call me. So that's a good sign. But definitely the fact that I went to Brazil and spoke with the mayors and the president while holding trash in my hand. Or I went to Argentina and I was all over the news. Or I went to Cyprus. I got the Greek and Turkish part to do a cleanup together and I was all over the news. I mean, if you think about again that I was just a little girl from Estonia to do that, that's nice to know that what I work every day, it matters. And literally I think anybody in the world, you have to really, really work hard and really be different also, but also you have to be true yourself and everything else will follow.
Right. So you're working with so many countries, for example, uh, Estonia, US, then Singapore, Dubai, South Korea. So how you manage your projects across all these countries and how ocean challenges differ across all these regions?
Yeah, number one thing is oceans are different. In Dubai it's different
Right.
issues than Singapore, or it's different issues in Los Angeles than Brazil. So I always try to look what is their like talent or magic. Like for example, I went to Nicaragua is one of the country who has volcano on the middle with a big lake, but they have both oceans. They have Pacific and Atlantic. So you look what is their magic and making that magic even better. So definitely, and it takes a lot of studying too. I have to say it's so interesting. I have to sometimes study a satellites to understand how their ocean works. And it's just every day is a interesting thing. But also we have with my team, I kind of have ideas where I want to go this year and which countries I can help this year. And if president from Caribbean calls me, then we try to see how we put it on our schedule, because everything has to be making sure it's not about just me going there and having great media. I mean, that's not the purpose. The purpose not to be influencer. It's a purpose to be impactful. And it's always really important to me that when I go somewhere, that we have to have educational side, we have to have sport side, like swimming with the kids and doing a swim clinic, and then we have to have working on what are their projects. Sometimes they might have a solution for pollution, and we need to raise awareness for that.
So, Marle, I think you are the best person who can tell how realistically we can tackle this global plastic crisis in the next decade.
Yeah, we have a plastic treaty on August in Switzerland,
Okay.
and I really hope we're gonna sign it. The truth is this: if we already have a material in this world, why we put it on the ground? Why we already produced it, so let's reuse it. And let's make smart way, and you can make a business out of it too. So it's all about building a smart business as well with plastics, problems. I have a friend who created uh, like a furniture out of Coca-Cola plastic. Great. Let's we when we have a material already, let's do it. Let's be innovative. Let's we already have a material. We don't have to go and study to find the material. We already have a material. Sadly, it's all going to the landfills. But now let's take it. Everybody's trying to find new minerals. No, we already have things on a landfills. Let's take that. I mean, how many batteries people are throwing away instead of redoing them and reusing them? There are solutions. Let's get behind it.
Right. So, according to you, what role technology can play to protect oceans?
There are many ways, but we need to clean up the oceans first. We need to,
Yeah.
the ocean cleanup is doing amazing of sin because on a big ocean there is a lot of plastic, and that under the heat and with the waves becomes a microplastic. So we really need to get behind that. Every country should do the cleanup, and making sure we get that thing out, and then you can reuse it. In my own business, in Viking Beauty Secrets, we actually use ocean bound plastic to put our beauty product in it. We actually use post construction plastic to put our scrub in it. So if it's possible and it has been possible, then let's go and do it.
Okay. So, that's a great point. So, what future innovations you are excited about in this green and blue economy space? Because you are an ecopreneur, so you know better.
Um, I'm actually really excited for the because I'm an athlete, right? I have to wear clothes to go to Pilates class, I'm really excited for a bamboo clothing, in the sense that that's gonna be so much better. It's not gonna have microplastic or forever chemicals. Bamboo, you need to maintain the forest anyway, so you need to cut. And I have this clothing line, on and off essentials, with who I work, and we developing different products and different fashionable activewear. And if you think about, if I accidentally leave my t-shirt somewhere on the nature, the bamboo goes back to nature. It's, if it falls apart, it's made from 100% from bamboo. It's gonna be okay on the nature. So I think I'm really excited for that. Of course, I'm excited for her. learning about all the people who are producing plastic what is more environmentally healthier, or a young entrepreneur just recently figured out how to filter out microplastic from the water. So there are these, I think these three things keep me up all night because I'm so excited learning about it.
How businesses can be more involved in ocean conservation? Because you're talking about these inventions and companies are doing it, startups are doing it. So how businesses can be more
Oh,
involved? In what ways?
let's take it like we did clean sustainable cosmetic line, and we need tubes to put our products into, our formula inside. So we found the ocean bound plastic, we found the post consume construction plastic. So just start there, start making already steps. Don't go and be just another business who produces something, produces with conscious.
Okay. So if Murli, if I ask you if you can change one global policy to protect oceans, what would it be?
Give a more substitute to help, the give more help to help the people who are producing more environmental friendly, like plates, cups, forks and knives, and give a higher tax for the ones who are producing single use plastic. That
Okay.
would be a nice policy to have. Because if a single use plastic gonna be more expensive, they're
Yeah.
gonna find solution.
Yeah.
Solution solution is there. They will build their muscle to switch around.
Right. So Murli, you talked about governments, you talked about countries, you talked about corporates, businesses, even startups, even innovators. So what do you think role individuals can play, a common man, in this ocean conservation?
That always carry your own water bottle, always carry your own bag, and if somebody is giving you, even if you're in a restaurant and somebody gives you a straw or a plastic cup, just ask better. Tell them you don't want plastic. I don't want, microplastic in my body. And that's how every human being can educate the business to do better.
Okay, Murli, last question, and you were simply amazing. And so you are an ocean ambassador. So what do you think? How young generation you can inspire to become ocean protectors?
You teach them to swim so they can learn to appreciate, and also not to be so scared of water, and you teach through that to care about ocean. It's all about education and sport, and the fact, if you can learn to see the beautiful sand dollar underwater, if you learn how to see a beautiful turtle, and you know why they are so happy to swim around the ocean, then you're gonna be one of them.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, Marley, for sharing your story, your experiences, and your insights. You're doing such a great uh, job for the society. I wish you all the best for all your future projects and your whatever you're doing for the society. And you keep swimming and just take care of yourself. That is the most important thing. And keep spreading this message across the world. This world needs
Thank
you
you.
and people like you. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, and keep sharing your talent, because not everybody has the same talent.
Thank you, Marley. Wish you all the best, Marley. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. What an inspiring journey we have just explored with Merle Liivand, the mermaid on a mission who is transforming the world one stroke at a time. From setting records in the water to setting the standard for eco leadership, Merle reminds us that passion, purpose, and persistence can spark global impact. Whether it's cleaning oceans mid swim or bridging tech with environmental advocacy, she continues to be a role model, not just for athletes, but for every one of us who cares about the future of our planet. If this episode inspired you, share it forward because, like Merle says, we all have a part to play in healing our oceans. Until next time, keep dreaming big, swimming strong, and never stop making waves.